We're both from the UK, right? And I'm sure it's the same for anyone from around the world. If you were dating or married to a woman from your own country, you'd have to, most of the time they don't work, a lot of the time, not all the time, you'd have to support her, right? You're paying the rent, you're paying the electric, you have to give them money for a new coat, a new pair of shoes. You know, she wants to go and have a coffee with her friends. What's the difference between that and doing that here in Thailand? As long as it's not, you have to give me 20,000 baht a month or I'm not going to be with. That's just transactional. But I mean, if you've got a real girlfriend and, you know, she needs a new shirt or a new bag and you have to pay 1,000 baht, what's the difference between that and doing it back home, right?
UK versus Thailand.
Oh, don't get me started on it. So this is something that winds me up, is guys who come out here and all they do is slate the UK. Okay, there's a lot of bad things happening in the UK, but there's a lot of bad things that you don't see happening here in Thailand and other parts of the world. But you know, these guys who come out here and all they do is make videos about how bad the UK is. If they had a heart attack or a serious illness or something happened, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to get on that plane to that terrible country, right? So,
Certainly.
So what I would say, as far as Thailand versus the UK, for me personally, Thailand's got a lot more to offer. I can have a lot nicer life out here, but I haven't written off the UK. I don't like what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't do politics, but we all watch the news, right? And I'm really not very happy with everything that's going on there at the moment. But it's still where I come from.
Yeah. One thing I've just got written down here is keep in mind who will always have your back.
Right.
Keep in mind the base.
Sure.
You know, it's like your parents, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky in that respect because I've got one very good friend, like a close friend, who I met here 30 years ago, believe it or not. And he lives here. He's got a Thai wife. He's got a Thai family. He's connected. I won't say him. His Thai family have some good connections in Thailand. And I know certain people who, if something happened to me and I had a real big problem, I could do something about it, you know. So if you come out here, you've got to try and get in a situation where you've got somebody who's got your back, you know, not the barstool preacher who's done everything, been everywhere, and he's ex-SOS, you know, and he SAA rather, and he could get called up any time, you know, those sort of guys. But you need to have a good friend, or at least several good friends who can watch your back out here.
Can you share with us what you know about the visa system currently?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. For most guys, we're still on the 60 days, okay? If you come in, you get a 60-day. It's not a visa, it's a visa exempt. It means you can come into the country for 60 days. Originally, it was 30 days. The Thai authority, what do you call it? The
immigration?
No, not immigration. You'll have to cut this bit out now. The tourism authority.
Okay.
So the tourism authority, they recommended taking the old stamp from 30 days to 60 days to try and encourage more people to come here. But they have had some problems with that. People setting up nominee companies and having ties to front it. And there was talk about it going back down to 30 days. I don't know if it will. So currently at the moment, for most countries, Western countries at least, you can turn up at the airport and you get 60 days. And as far as long term, you've got the, you need to be 50, you can get the retirement visa, there's marriage visas. But I'm going to give Mark from One Stop Visa a plug here because when I first got here, I used another agent. He's located in Soy 6 and he's great. Anybody who comes here, he can get you a driving license for a car, a motorcycle, your retirement visa, anything. He can open a bank account for you if you're coming here long term. And that's the current situation with the visas at the moment. In the old days, you used to come here on a tourist stamp and the guys living here years, they used to go up to Cambodia in a minibus at the end of every month. And that's how they did it. But they've cracked down on all that now. You know, you can't do that now.
I hear you. Do you know much about if a guy wants to bring a lady back to the UK?
Again, I mean, Mark from One Stop Visa, and funny enough, I did an interview with Mark this morning at 7 o'clock this morning because he's so busy. If I turn up any later than that, like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, he's just mobbed with people, and we do the interview in the office, and it's quiet. At 7 o'clock in the morning, there's no one there except him and Pom, his partner, who's cleaning up a little bit. But in answer to your question, he can sort that out for you.
I might have to get him in.
Have you got a Thai girlfriend you want to take back to?
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking ahead of my viewers.
Well, if you interview Mark, you'll have to go to him because he's very busy.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's English?
He's English, yeah.
Okay.
And I highly recommend him. I do all my stuff with him. He's very reliable. everybody I've sent to him, I've said he's good. In fact, I've got a friend who I did another interview with yesterday. I don't want to name who it is yet. He's got one of the biggest and best bars here in Pattaya. He's got to go back to the UK. He's got a Thai wife, and he didn't know what to do. And I said, go and see Mark. He went to see him yesterday. He called me up and he said, that guy's fantastic.
Yeah.
He said he's doing everything for me.
Future projects.
I think I'm just going to go on as I am. I don't know how long people will keep watching me. I started this when I was like 59, 60. I think I'm coming up for my 6th year now. I still enjoy it. I like reading the stories. Sometimes I read them and I think, did you really do that? You know, one thing that really winds me up is when people write to me and say, you make all them stories up. They're not genuine. You know, I mean, but no, I'll just carry on what I'm doing. I don't know, as I say, I don't know how long people will keep watching me. Maybe the channel will change in the future. If I move down to Hua Hin, for instance, I'll just do it for as long as I can. And if people still watch me, then I'll keep doing it.
How has your YouTube growth journey been?
Slow. I mean, look, I'm one guy who talks to a camera. That you can't make any video in Thailand that hasn't been done. You'd have to really dig deep. Every subject you can think of, from riding on the river in Bangkok or to coming down to Pattaya by bus, everything's been done and dusted 100 times. When I first started my channel, I could count Thailand YouTubers on 2 hands.
Really?
Now, especially in Pattaya, everybody and his brother's walking around with a camera.
Do you have any memorable Ladyboy stories to entertain the viewers?
Well, funny enough, I just read a story out about a guy who learnt a lesson, a very hard lesson, from a couple of ladyboys recently. Because, you know, I get these stories sent in to me, and when guys have things happen to them, a lot of them write it down and send it in to me. And it was only a couple of weeks ago, I got a story. What happened was there was a guy on a beach road. He'd had a bit too much to drink. He didn't know what soy 6/1 is. And if anybody watching doesn't know what 6/1 is, you've got soy 6, which is famous for all the girly bars, hundreds of girls, screaming
That's
girls.
the
Right?
number 1 street.
Right.
Probably in the world for women, isn't it?
Exactly, right. So the next street up, 6/1, is actually the Ladyboy street.
Oh, that's like round the back.
Yeah.
That's the
right.
back door.
Right. So you got 6 that goes down to the beach, and then the next soy is 6/1. Well, that's where the freelance ladyboys hang out. I don't think there's any bars for ladyboys. So this guy's walking along the beach road. He had a good night, and he'd had a bit too much to drink. He was walking up soy 6/1, and there was a ladyboy standing there who kind of said something to him. Apparently she didn't really look too much like a beautiful lady like some of them do, and he made some comment like, you look more like a wrestler, or she obviously spoke English. I can't remember what the comment was, but he said something kind of derogatory to her, laughed it off, carried on walking up the street, and within a minute he heard several footsteps running towards him, and he basically got beat up by 2 or 3 ladyboys quite badly. Luckily for him, a motorbike taxi guy, you know, the guys with the orange shirts, came down and kind of talked to the ladyboys and said, right, he's had enough now. And he actually said in the story, he actually said, I've really learnt my lesson. Don't assume, you know, you can't do this when you're in Thailand. You know, you got to treat everybody with respect, and they'll treat you with respect. You know, ladyboy working, he should have just walked past her, but he was new to Thailand, thought it was a bit of a joke. She didn't find it funny, and he ended up with a stiletto heel on his nut, as it were. I mean, it's funny to tell, right? But it wouldn't be funny if we were there.
There has recently been some vicious stories in the news, isn't there?